According to product information of the producers, the blades of the Swiza pocket knives should be 1 Rockwell harder than the blades of the Victorinox Swiss Army Knives. In this video I want to find out if the Swiza blades has the better edge retention, and I want to compare the other tools of the similar knives. So stay tuned. Welcome to another comparison video. Today I would like to present you the Swiza D09 and I will compare it with the Victorinox Outrider. What? You never heard something about Swiza? Swiza was founded in the year 1904. They are based in Delemont in the western part of Switzerland. Swiza is specialized in the manufacturing of desk clocks, and since 2015 they produce also pocket knives. In terms of the size, the 95mm models from Swiza are very close to the 91mm models from Victorinox, but the Swiza has a liner lock for the big blade, and I want to compare this knife with a Victorinox knife who also has a liner lock. And this is the Victorinox Outrider. This is a 111mm model. So let's have a first look at the Swiza D09, and I want to find out what are the biggest differences between the Swiza and the Victorinox tool. At first glance I like the modern design of the Swiza. The slightly curved handle fits comfortably in my hand. And the rubberized handle feels okay and provides a good grip. I like the release button on the side of the handle. This is about the same solution like on a Victorinox Ranger grip. Instead of the small nail nicks, Swiza comes with a hole. And almost every tool on this knife has such a hole. And this hole helps to open the tools for left and right handles. At the end of this video I will tell you if these differences brings an advantage. Let's have a closer look to the most important tools. And I want to start with the big blade. Okay, so both knives don't have a sideways blade play. That's good. This is also good. But the Swiza one has a big up and down blade play. Victorinox has just a little bit up and down blade play. And I noticed also that the big blade from the Swiza is much softer than the one from Victorinox, even if this blade is longer. Maybe for a fair comparison I take a 91mm, and also this is much stiffer than this one. The blade plate is not the most important criterion for me. For me is the edge retention much more important. So let's start to test it. For testing the blades I make 20 cuts through the cupboard, I make 20 cuts through the rope, and I carve 20 times on this wood stick. I brought both knives on the same sharpness level. I would say both are okay. I make 10 more cuts on the cupboard, 10 more cuts on the rope, and 10 more cuts on the stick. So both knives are still slicing through paper. Let's do 10 more. So look. Yeah, still slicing, I would say. Okay, let's make 10 more. I would say until now little advantage for the Swiza. Let's do 10 more. Okay, I would say let's make 10 more. Okay, 10 more. Wow. Ah. On the Victorinox one, I have somewhere in the middle a point where I have a little bit problem. So let's do some more with the rest of the material we have. Okay, they are both still slicing. Now I decide to cut through this and this will be very stressful for the knives. Okay, 5 more cuts. Okay, 20 more cut for each. Oh, this is sport. Okay, I cut the rest of the rope and we will see if something happened with the knife blade. But until now, both are about the same. Maybe slightly advantages for the Swiza one. Gilles, should we stop?
No, let's continue. Hundreds more.
Oh, so. So I was tired and now she'll have to make the rest.
A small rest.
Okay, Sheila had made 60 more cuts on this rope and now I'm very curious what the result is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I would say the edge retention is about the same. This is a 440C steel hardened on 57 Rockwell, and this is a 14110 steel hardened on 56 Rockwell. To be honest, the blade length of the Victorinox one is a bit longer. That's why it's possible that the Swiza one has a little bit the better edge retention. So the next tool I want to test is the wood saw. And as you can see, the wood saw on the Victorinox is much longer. That this comparison is fair, I take the wood saw from a 91mm knife. Okay, let's start with the Swiza. Victorinox. Okay, for this I needed 49 strokes and this is 63 strokes. So I double check it. So obviously the Victorinox wood saw went smoother. The next tool I want to compare is the Reamer. Obviously there is a big difference. The Reamer of the Swiza is in one line with the handle, and the Reamer from the Victorinox is in a 90-degree angle. I know both. I know people who say for me is the Victorinox ergonomically better, and I know people who say for me is this better. The Reamer is the only tool I don't want to test right now, because some weeks ago I broke the tip from the Reamer, and only a few days later she made exactly the same. That's why I say the Reamer from the Swiza is too weak for making a hole in dry wood. Maybe it works for leather, for cardboard or whatever, but for making a hole in the dry wood, this Reamer is not stable enough. Okay, the next tool I want to compare is the scissors. To be honest, I like the idea from the Swizas to make these scissors. This is a totally new concept, new design, fantastic. These scissors with the long legs has one disadvantage. And this is, at the end, it's not stable enough for cutting hard things. With these scissors you can cut paper or kitchen stuff like herbs, something, but you can't really cut fingernails. And if I study about for what I use my scissors the most, these are cutting fingernails, cutting toenails, cutting rope or paracord, and cutting blisters. And I would say these little scissors works better for these tasks than this one. This is probably better for kitchen and office tasks. But great idea. The next tool is the can opener. Let's try it out. Yeah, it's the same. It's about the same. Both are good enough for opening a can. But at the end we have a little screwdriver. And that's why I will check which one of these screwdrivers has the better torsion resistance. For that we go to the vise. Sieht man einen Unterschied?
Ja, schon.
As you could see at the vise, the torsion resistance from the Victorinox is better. Another thing who annoys me a little bit on the Swiza is that the spring who keep the can opener open is very soft. This is really like a toy, and the spring who hold the Victorinox can opener open is much harder. So I prefer this. The next tool I want to compare is the big screwdriver and the bottle opener. Bottle opener I don't test. I hope both are able to open a bottle. But I want to test again the torsion resistance from the screwdriver. Oh, das ist viel steifer. Das ist viel steifer. So, as you could see, the torsion resistance from the Victorinox screwdriver is much better than on the Swiza one. Another advantage is that the screwdriver is locked from a liner lock, and this one is not locked. But both has a 90-degree stop, like this. The next tool I want to compare is the corkscrew. The corkscrew on the Swiza one is much long, not much, but a little bit longer, and it has the bigger inside diameter. This is important for me because I like to store things in the corkscrew, in the middle part of the corkscrew. But the disadvantage on this corkscrew is this is very wobbling. And this is super stiff. All in all, the corkscrew of the Victorinox make the better impression for me. So now to my conclusion. I really like the slightly curved handle. I really like the design. I like that the scales are rubberized. But what I don't like is that the closed tools extend too much out of the body, and this hurts because if you hold the knife like this, you get pressure marks here on the fingers, and this is annoying. For opening the tools, Victorinox has nail nicks. Swiza has holes. These holes are bigger than the nail nicks, and in my opinion, these holes really help that you can better grab the tools. What is also helpful is that the spring tension of these strings is lower, so it's much easier to fold out the tools than on the Victorinox one. In the description of this tool, I read it that these holes are that left and right handers can open the tool, and this is not true, because this tool has just access from one side. Every single tool has just access from one side. This is not that important, but it's still a point I noticed. Another point I don't like are the big gaps between the layers. The price from the Swiza one is 65 Swiss francs. This is about the same in dollars. And the price from the Victorinox Outrider is 59. If I had to decide with which knife I want to go for the rest of my life, I would go with the Victorinox one. On the Victorinox one, you feel that here is 130 years experience and 130 years to try to improve the quality. And the overall quality of this knife is better than on the Swiza one. But I would say the Swiza knife has a solid quality. This is still 1,000 times better than the quality of such a creepy, cheap China knife. So, if you are a person who like to carry something different than all other people's, you made nothing wrong if you buy a Swiza knife. But if you are a heavy user and if you bring your knife to the limit, I would clearly recommend buy a Victorinox. So my friends, I hope this comparison was interesting for you. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and see you next Friday. Ciao!